Hi students, yesterday's class I introduced regarding the moment of inertia. Okay, I introduced the new concept. What is that? Moment of inertia. It has another name, rotational inertia. Inertia. Okay, so I introduced this moment of inertia. Actually, it is like inertia. So inertia, now in today's class, I want to explain how to determine this moment of inertia. Okay, in today's class, we are going to determine. I will give few examples. Yesterday I introduced how to this moment of inertia is determined. For a particle, we are using mr square. For a system of particles, m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square and so on, or sigma mr square for a system of particles. For a continuous mass distributed bodies, you take a small element and you integrate it. So this is the procedure, general procedure to determine the moment of inertia. Now in today's class, I am going to determine this, I will give few examples how this moment of inertia will be determined for a continuous distributed bodies. Okay, determination of moment of inertia. Determination of I. Moment of inertia is represented with letter I. Okay, determination of I. That is today's class. So, for continuous distributed bodies, so I will do for rigid bodies. For rigid bodies. Okay. The first one is you take a uniform thin rod. So you take this the first example. Okay, thin rod. This moment of inertia, while you are determining, you mention the axis of rotation. Okay, so moment of inertia of a uniform thin rod about an axis. So let us consider a thin rod. Okay, so let us consider a thin rod. This is a thin rod, let it be. Okay, this rod AB, it has uniform cross section. Now you consider an axis of rotation. That axis is passing through center perpendicular to its length. So when you are determining this moment of inertia, you mention the axis, about an axis. What is name of that axis? Passing through center, perpendicular to its length, perpendicular to its length. Okay, perpendicular to its length. So this is axis of rotation. Okay, this rod will be rotating like this. Let it be. Okay, now I want its moment of inertia. For this, you take a small element of this. We take a small element of this. The length of the rod, let it be L. So what you assume? Let L be the length of the rod. Length of the rod. Okay, let M be the mass of the rod. Mass of the rod. Okay, now you consider a small element of this. You consider a small element whose length is dx. Okay, length of that element, that length is at a distance x from axis of rotation. Okay, so you consider a small element. So consider a small element. Okay, what is that element? Length, whose length is dx, mass is dm, where it is at a distance x from axis of rotation. Okay, mass of the element dm, length of the element is dx. So this is mass per unit length. Here I will take a one parameter, that is linear density. So I consider this linear density. What is linear density? Mass of the rod per unit length, length of the rod, you will get linear density. It is represented with the letter lambda. Lambda is equal to mass per unit length into length. Okay, so what are its units? Kg, mass is in kgs, length is in meters. So kg meter inverse is the unit of linear density. It is represented with the letter lambda. Okay, now you first find the moment of inertia of this element about this axis. Okay, so mi of the moment of inertia, I will write simply mi. Instead of writing every time moment of inertia, I will write mi. Okay, moment of inertia of the element. First you write the element, moment of inertia. You treat this element as a particle. Okay, because it is minute. So its length is infinitely small. So whose length is dx. Okay, so mass of the element is, I want mi of the element. So that is moment of inertia. So that is I will write mass of the element dm into perpendicular distance. So that distance is x square. Okay, so mr square. So I am using the formula for a particle formula. If m is mass of the particle, r is the distance of the particle from axis of rotation, then its moment of inertia is mr square. Yesterday I told that one. Okay, so I am using that formula. So this moment of inertia of the element, let it be di. So di is equal to dm into x square. Dm is mass of the element. Mass of the element is linear density, mass per unit length into length of the element. Let it be dx. Okay, suppose this rod has 1 meter length, 1 kg. Okay, so it has mass 1 kg, let it be. So that 1 kg has length 100 centimeters, because it is 1 kg is 100 centimeters. So 1 centimeters is how much mass it has? 1 kg divided by 100, that is 1 into 10 power minus 2. That is you convert into grams. 1 kg is 1000 by 100, you will get 10. That means 1 centimeter has mass 10 grams. Suppose 100 centimeters has mass, 10 into 100, you will get 1000 grams. That makes 1 kg. So that is the logic we followed here. So di is equal to mass per unit length into length, you will get mass of the element into x square. Okay, that is the moment of inertia of this element. I want to integrate this. So such elements are present from here you will write m. What is lambda? Mass per unit length into length, that is x square into dx. that is di. So such elements are present from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Okay. So such elements, you divide this rod, assume into number of pieces. How many pieces? Let it be infinite. So thus such elements are, how many elements are there? Infinite, which are spreading from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. So which will starts from minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. I choose this one as the origin center. Then for getting total rod, moment of inertia of the whole rod, you have to integrate. Integration is nothing but summation. So integration is a mathematical tool where we are using, whenever you want required summation, if you want to add such all pieces, to get that we are using integration. So I am integrating to get a total. This is mi of the element. I want a mi of the rod, thin rod. For thin rod, you have to integrate this expression, integral di. Okay. So that is integral di is m mass per unit length into x square dx. From where to where? From minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Okay. So after integrating di, you will get I. So I is equal to mass per unit length. It is a constant. So you taken out integral x square dx from limits minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Okay. So that is, I will write here. Okay. So I will write here. Now integral I is equal to, I want I is equal to, so m by L mass by length into x square dx. Integral x dx is, integral x square dx is x cube by 3. Limits minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. Okay. So after substituting the limits minus L by 2 to plus L by 2, so I is equal to mass per unit length. 3 is a constant you taken out. So you substitute the limits. X is a variable. So you substitute this variable with the specific values minus L by 2 to plus L by 2. So when you are substituting, substitute upper limit minus lower limit. Okay. What is upper limit? L by 2 cube minus upper limit minus lower limit minus L by 2 cube. That is upper limit minus lower limit. That is m by 3L, that is L cube by 2 cube. That is you will get L cube by 2 cube is 8. This is minus. Minus of minus becomes plus. So you will get L cube by 8. So you will get 2L cube by 8. So that is L cube by, you will get m L cube by 2. You will get 4. If you add this, you will get denominator 4. 4 into 3, 12. So 12 L. So you will get L get cancelled. 1. So what you will get? I is equal to ml square by 12. Okay. So this is the answer. So what is the answer? Moment of inertia of a thin uniform rod about an axis passing through center perpendicular to its length is I is equal to ml square by 12. Okay. So this is the answer, where m is mass of the rod, L is length of the rod. For the same object, if axis of rotation changes, then moment of inertia will changes. Okay. Because it depends upon mass distribution and axis of rotation also. It's very important. Axis of rotation. Suppose the rod will rotate like this, moment of inertia will also changes. Suppose the rod will rotate like this. This is an axis. Now I assumed that it rotates like this. This is an axis of rotation. I will assume like this. Instead of like this, if you use like this, if it is rotating like this, then moment of inertia definitely change. We can calculate moment of inertia similarly about other end, about an axis. Similarly, you do this one. This is work for you. What is that? Calculate similarly moment of inertia of the rod, moment of inertia of the thin rod about an axis passing through one end perpendicular to its length is I is equal to, you will get ml square by 3. Okay, this is work for you. You do this one. Similarly we can derive this one. Okay, take this next one. Next, second body, that is ring. Okay, about an axis passing through center perpendicular to its plane. Okay, this is the second object. Suppose the ring will be like this. You consider a ring. Okay, this is, let it be a thin ring. It is thin ring. Thin ring means thickness is neglected. Okay, so about an axis passing through center perpendicular to its plane. Suppose this ring is rotating like this about an axis, like this. The wheel is this ring is rotating. Okay, about an axis passing through center perpendicular to its plane. I want moment of inertia of this ring about this axis. Okay, now as usual, so solution, let m be the mass of the ring, okay, let r be the radius of the ring, let it be, okay, radius of the ring. Now let lambda be the linear density. So what is linear density? Lambda is equal to mass of the string by length of the string. This length of the string is 2 pi r. Length of the string is 2 pi r. Okay, nothing but its circumference. This is linear density. Otherwise you add. So here linear mass density, it is not required. Okay, you will get, we can use, or otherwise we can do directly. So I am doing directly. Okay, so I choose a small element. So the next step is choose the element. Consider a small element. See, when you are choosing the element, it should be in the shape of small elements you should choose when you are choosing the element. That element is in the body. If you add that element, it should be that element. If you add if you divide this rigid body into number of pieces you add, again you will get that original body. Okay, so that small element of length dx, length of the mass I will take directly. Mass of the element, let it be mass dm, which is at a distance r, okay, from axis of rotation. I consider a small element whose mass is dm. So where it is at a distance x, that is r, from axis of rotation. Okay, now I want moment of inertia of this small element. So how it is then mi, what is mi? Moment of inertia of the element. Okay, what is moment of inertia of the element? As use the particle formula, di is equal to use the particle formula, m mass of the element into distance of the square of the distance of the element from axis of rotation, that is r square. Okay, this is mi of the element. I want mi of the ring. I want moment of inertia of the ring, that is whole body. So for that you have to integrate this expression. Okay, integral di, that is integral dm into r square. Okay, that is integral dm, r is constant because all the elements are at equidistance from axis of rotation, isn't it? Because the center circumference, every point on the circumference is at equidistance from the center. Hence all the elements are at equidistance, so that r is constant. So I taken out, then I am integrating integral dm. So integral dm is m. So you will get, so I is equal to m, that is mr square, mass of the ring into r square. So this is the answer. So moment of inertia of the ring about an axis passing through center perpendicular to its plane is, we got mr square, where m is mass of the ring, r is radius of the ring. Suppose you cut this a part of the ring like this, like a arc. This arc is a part of a circle. So this arc, a part of the ring, what is this? A part of the ring. Okay, then this part of the ring having mass m, having mass m, radius r, only, then its moment of inertia, then I is equal to, about same axis we have mr square. Similarly you will get same answer, even though for part of this ring it is rotating about this axis. Here axis should be same. Okay, so similarly we can do this one. Every part has mass dm, same proof, you will get this answer. Clear? So even though if you cut a part of the ring, it has same moment of inertia as that of the ring, but provided here m is mass of the ring, here small m is, here m is mass of this part of the ring. Okay, that's, you have to note down that difference. Okay, so this is the second one. Next, third one. The third body, third one is disc. Disc having inner radius inner radius r1 r1 and outer radius r2. Okay, so the disk has inner radius and outer radius. Okay, I want its moment of inertia. Okay, so how we can calculate inner radius r1 and outer radius r2? Let us consider a disk. Okay, let it be a disk. Consider an axis. What is this? Axis of rotation. Okay, how it is axis of rotation? Passing through center about an axis. Be careful that when you are saying moment of inertia, you mention axis of rotation, because for the same body it has a different values. That's why it is called a tensor quantity. It is neither vector quantity nor scalar quantity. Suppose the moment of inertia is a, you have these options. Moment of inertia is a first option, vector quantity, scalar quantity, tensor quantity. So your answer should be tensor quantity. Moment of inertia, what is that? Tensor. I will write here, tensor. What is the meaning of tensor? In different directions a body has different values for the same body. That means it depends upon axis of rotation. Now you mention the axis, about an axis passing through center, passing through center, passing through center perpendicular to its plane. Okay, that is about axis of rotation. Now this inner radius, let it be r1, outer radius, let it be r2. Okay, so I consider a small ring, thin ring, whose radius that of that ring is small r. Okay, ring radius is r. This is a thin disc I consider. Okay, radius r. Okay, that disc I assumed that it is made up of a small rings. Okay, thin rings. I consider one such thin ring. Its radius is small r, which is from between r1 and r2. That means this smaller value r1 less than small r less than r2 equal to. Okay, that smaller value lies between r1 and r2. Okay, moment of inertia of that ring I want. So let m be the mass of the disk. Solution as usual. Let m be the mass of the disk. Mass of the disk. Mass of the disk. Mass of the element we have to write. Okay, mass of the element. Mass of the disk. R1 is the inner radius. Inner radius. Inner radius. R2 outer radius. Okay, outer radius I assumed these two. Okay, then what I want the moment of inertia of this element. Let it be, you consider as usual. Next step is consider a small element. Okay, small element. That element I choose in the form of ring, because the object, this element should be symmetric about the object. Because the object is in the form of disk, I assumed it as ring. Okay, be careful when you are choosing the element. In case of rod, I assumed a small element in the form of length, because rod is a linear one, but disk is a area. So disk has certain area. So you have to define mass per unit area. Okay. So the ring element has that element mass, let it be dm. Okay. Radius of that element, let it be small r. Okay. Okay. Now I want this mass of the ring. Then dm is equal to, first I will write radius or mass, let it be dm. I am writing dm. dm is mass of the ring is mass per unit area into area. Okay, I will choose like this, mass per unit area into total mass per unit area. Okay, that is mass of the ring per unit area, that is dm into area of the element. You will get area of the element. Okay, area of the element. This thickness of this element, let it be dx. So that thickness, let it be dr. What is dr? Thickness of the element. So I want this mass of the element, that is mass per unit area, that is m by area is, that is pi r2 square minus r1 square. Mass per unit area, total area is, outer area is pi r2 square, inner area is pi r1 square. So you subtract. Inside there is no material. If small r less than r1, inside there is no material. So you have to subtract pi r2 square minus r1 square. You will get a total area into area of the element. What is area of the element? Area of the element is circumference into thickness. What is the circumference? 2 pi r into thickness, let it be dr. Okay. So this is the mass of the element. So now first I will write this moment of inertia of this element. Okay. So I will write here mi, next step, mi of the element as usual. Okay. Mi of the element. What is that element? Moment of inertia of the element, that is di is equal to, element is, I take this element as a ring. So I am using ring formula. What is the ring formula? Mass of the ring into radius of the ring, r square, mr square. Just I derived this one. Okay. Now I am using that formula. So moment of inertia of the element. Now dm, what is dm? Mass per that is pi r2 square minus r1 square into 2 pi r into dr square into dr into r square. So I will write r cube instead of that, r cube. Okay. Pi will get cancelled. So what you will get? M by r2 square minus r1 square, okay, into 2, I will get 2 here in the numerator, r cube. So r cube dr. Okay. So what I am doing? Constants I am writing one side, the variable I am writing separating, because I am going to do integration. So now I want moment of inertia of this whole disk. So such a rings are, how many rings are there? Infinite rings. So if you cut this disk into number of rings, I choose one ring, I find moment of inertia of that ring, then I am adding all such rings. Such rings are spreading from R1 to R2. So for that, for summation, I am using integration. Okay. So for summation, I am using integration. So I want moment of inertia of the disk. I want moment of inertia of the whole disk. Let it be I. So what I am doing? I am integrating this di. So integral di. So I is equal to integral di. I am writing here. What is integral I? 2m by R2 square minus R1 square into R cube dr. Okay. So I am integrating. This is a constant. So before going to integration, you have to separate these constants, separate and integrate the variable only. So which are spreading from R1 to R2. So that is called limits of integration. Okay. So that is 2m by R2 square minus R1 square constant integral R cube. Integral R cube dr is integral x to the power n dx. X to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So we will get R to the power 4 by 4 limits R1 to R2. Okay. So that is, I am writing here 2m R2 square minus R1 square into by 4. 4 is a constant. I am writing here 4 constants. So you substitute the limits. Upper limit minus lower limit. What is upper limit? R2 to the power 4 minus R1 to the power 4. So here you R2 to the power 4 minus R1 to the power 4 divided by R2 square minus R1 square. Here you use the formula a square minus b square. A square minus b square can be written as a plus b into a minus b. So for understanding physics you need mathematics. Okay. So this 2 by 4 is 2. I am writing m or m by 2. Here I am writing R2 square plus R1 square, okay, into R2 square minus R1 square divided by R2 square minus R1 square. Okay. So it will get cancelled. So what you will get? 4 2. So I is equal to m R2 square plus R1 square by 2. So this is the required answer. Okay. So moment of inertia of the disk, thin disk having inner radius R1, outer radius R2 about an axis passing through center perpendicular to plane is how much? I got m R1 square plus R2 square, R1 square plus R2 square by 2. Okay. We got this. Clear? So you take this. Clear? Now see, assume R1 is 0, R2 is R, then I is equal to, what you will get? I is equal to mr square by 2. This is moment of inertia of the disk. Suppose there is a disk like this. Disk. So its radius is r. Let it be a disk rotating about an axis passing through center perpendicular to its plane is mr square by 2. Keep these points in as the formula. Okay, you have to remember all these things. Clear? Take this. So here I explained three bodies: uniform thin rod, ring and disc. Okay, so these are the procedure to determine the moment of inertia of a rigid bodies. Okay, similarly we can derive. So here I will give some list of the formulas. You note down, these are you have to remember. Similarly we can derive. Okay, so three bodies are I gave already: thin ring, thin rod, ring and disc. I gave 3 1. So now I am telling fourth one. So from this I am not deriving. Okay, body, rigid body, axis, moment of inertia, moment of inertia. Similarly we can derive. Okay, it is represented with letter I. Okay, you note down this one. Fourth one. So I gave already three bodies. The fourth one is moment of inertia of a solid sphere, homogeneous. Homogeneous means it has uniform mass distribution. Okay, and it is made with the same material, that is called homogeneous. Solid sphere, so it's about an axis, about its central axis, about an axis. That axis is central axis, centroidal axis. What is a centroidal? Passing through center, centroidal axis. That means passing through center. So its moment of inertia is 2 by 5 mr square. What is m? Mass of the m is mass of the solid sphere, r is radius of the solid sphere. You remember this one as the formula. I am not deriving, okay, from onwards, but you have to remember these values. Fifth one, halo sphere. I think you know the difference between solid sphere and halo sphere. About same axis, central axis, that is I is equal to 2 by 3 mr square. 2 by 3 mr square. M is mass of the halo sphere, r is radius of the halo sphere. Suppose there are two spheres, one is solid, other is halo. Both are having the same mass, same radius. Then which one has more moment of inertia? Can you give the answer? Same mass, same radius. So 2 by 5, 2 by 3. Which is greater? 2 by 5 is I think 0.4. This is 0.4 units. This one is 2 by 3. 2 by 3 I think it is 0.6. 0.6. This is greater. So moment of inertia of a, when you are comparing moment of inertia of a solid sphere and a halo sphere, if both are having the same mass and same radius, then which one will have more moment of inertia? Answer will be halo sphere. halo sphere, isn't it? That is the answer. Can you guess why it is? Because the same mass, see, same mass means this is a solid, this is halo, solid, halo, same sizes, assume same sizes, same radius, mass is same, okay, axis is same, central axis, this is also axis is same, central axis rotating with an angular speed omega. So moment of inertia of this halo sphere, moment of inertia of the halo is greater than moment of inertia of the solid. Can you say? The reason is the entire mass, here halo means there is no mass, this mass is distributed at its periphery. So this entire mass is distributed periphery. So if mass distribution, I said moment of inertia depends upon mass distribution also. Even though same mass and same radius, if mass distribution changes, moment of inertia is also changes. See here the entire mass is distributed on its periphery, so which is away from axis of rotation. So if a mass moves away from axis of rotation, from formula mr square, see particle formula, m is same. If this r is distribution, distance of this particle from axis of rotation, so I proportional to r square, m is same. So r is distribution, the distance of that element from axis of rotation. So as this mass distributes on its periphery, this distance of that mass from axis of rotation increases. As the distance increases, its moment of inertia is also increases. In the similar fashion, if this mass is concise, it is compressed towards the axis of rotation, then what happens? Moment of inertia decreases. I will give one example to understand this. Suppose the earth shrinks suddenly, its mass reduces, mass will remain the same. Suppose radius of the earth decreases, it shrinks, compressed, earth is compressed, mass will remain the same, but this mass density changes. So if you compress that, this mass distribution will be towards the axis of rotation, hence moment of inertia increases. Clear? So if earth shrinks to shrinks half of its radius without change in its mass, then what happens? Its moment of inertia, answer will be increases, because mass distance here decreases. Clear this one? Okay. Next one. So it is halo sphere. The next one is sixth one. Moment of inertia of a solid sphere, halo sphere, and solid cylinder. Solid cylinder. It is about its central axis. That means the cylinder is like this. Let r be the radius of the cylinder. Central axis like this. So this is axis of rotation. This cylinder is rotating like this. About this is axis of rotation. That is called central axis. M is mass. So this is the cylinder. Okay? Central axis. So it is rotating like this. So then it's what is its moment of inertia? I is, you use the formula, disk formula, mr square by 2, where m is mass of the cylinder, r is radius of the cylinder. Okay, you remember disk formula, same as disk, okay, same as disk. Now the seventh one is solid cylinder. Now hollow cylinder, I want a hollow cylinder. Okay, so this is a hollow cylinder. This is hollow. I think you know the difference between solid and hollow. Okay, so it is rotating about this axis, about its natural axis. So you assume m r square. You assume same as ring. Okay, this is seventh one. Eighth one, a rectangular lamina. Okay, eighth one. So rectangular lamina. What is a rectangular lamina? Like this. Okay, it has length L, breadth B. What is L? Length. I will write here. What is L? Length of the lamina. What is B? Breadth. Breadth of the lamina. Lamina is nothing but a planar object. Okay, it is like a plane object like this. Okay, this is actually a cell phone. What is this? It seems to be a laminar. That it seems to be like a plane object. Okay, so its length and breadth like this. This is the length. You assume length and breadth. Okay, m, let it be m, mass, let it be m. So I want the moment of inertia of this lamina about an axis passing through center perpendicular to its plane. So it is given by the formula I is equal to m into L square plus B square by 12. Okay, we can derive all this, but derivations are not necessary. For objective, remember these formulas. It is essential for us. So I is equal to m into L square plus B square by 12, where L is length of the lamina, B is breadth of the lamina, and m is mass of the lamina. Okay, you remember these formulas. For the time being, I will give only 8 formulas. Okay, I will give only 8 formulas. So 8 formulas I gave. Okay, remember for the time being, you remember these 8. Okay, if some other also we needed, but it is I will introduce later, not now. Okay, so whenever it is necessary, I will introduce that formula at that time.